What's up, my mental health, the new wealth family? It's your girl, Nikita Nicole, the Illuminist, and we are back at it again every Friday. I'm so excited that you decided to join me for yet another episode. This Friday, we're going to pay homage to the women, the womb man, and especially in the way of le madres. Don't clown me, okay? My Spanish is equivalent to Peggy Heels, but we're going to give praise to the mothers in all facets, biological, spiritual, and otherwise. This episode is not necessarily curated because I'm coming off the hip and speaking of how I feel about the women in my life and being a woman myself. I encourage you to tap in, and hopefully this episode will help you to edify the things that you love and honor about being a woman for yourself and take a deeper look at the women in your life. We will talk about the different facets of what being a woman is, what that looks like for us on a regular everyday basis, and what we must do to calibrate being higher vibrational women on a regular everyday basis. So sit back, relax, and let's get into this episode.
And not that either.
A mother is defined as a woman in relation to her child or children, to bring up with care and affection, give birth to nurture. Hey, my mental health, the New Wealth family. We are back at it again. And I am excited to speak on something that I know very, very well about since the day that I was born. It's just something about being me. And in fact, it's just something about being a woman in general that I really appreciate, and a Black woman to add on top of that. There definitely are challenges and things that we face on a regular, everyday basis, but I am honored, blessed, grateful, and just so thankful to be a Black woman here in this space at this time right now. So we're going to give some energy to the divine feminine in me and the divine feminine in you. Even though I didn't curate this episode as I curate other ones, you know your girl gonna do her research. So I went online and seen what they had to say about woman. The definition of a woman is not even worth reading, but I looked up the attributes of what the inners of net feels that a woman's attributes are. And these are self-confidence, intelligence, passion, honesty, assertiveness, empathy, kindness, courage, love, ambition, independence, self awareness, patience, respect, supportive, health, humility, nurturing, independence, playful, self esteem, creative, generous, and loyalty. And it's interesting to me some of the words that the internet decided to give as attributes to women. There are so many things we are and so many hats that we wear on a regular basis for ourselves and other people, not even as it relates to our direct family. So basically, to sum up what a woman is in 20 words was cute. It was cute. They tried it. But you know, the internet got answers for everything. So I don't blame them. But let's talk about a woman in general and what a woman is. We are womb men, right? We are human beings. We are men here on this earth, or one man with a womb, right? So we have a lot of attributes that some males have, but the only difference is we have different organs and different things in our bodies so that we can operate and bring life into this world via breast, via a womb, a birthing canal, a cervix, a menstrual cycle, and things of that nature. So far as the physical level of what a woman is, that is in fact what we are. We are men with estrogen. Straight up, period. But when we go into the spiritual aspects of who we are and why we are here, created to be here on this earth, in this plane at this time, it's very important to understand that we all have balance of masculine and feminine energy. And although we have balance of that masculine and feminine energy, being women especially is very important to hone in on some of those divine feminine attributes. And what are those attributes? What are the divine feminine attributes? They are compassion, nurturing, love, radiance, intuition, light, expansion, creation, movement, and receiving. So I want to pay extra close attention to the spiritual attributes because I believe that ethereally things happen spiritually before they are here on this physical plane. Whether you believe it or not, you had a celestial meeting and your celestial family, and you decided in the spiritual realm to come here for a certain reason. Sometimes we find that reason and we excel at that. And then sometimes we leave here with not even accomplishing what we came here to do. However, these attributes that I just read were given to us to amplify and manifest those things that we were given here to do. And so when you think about these attributes and think of yourself as these things, as a woman, I am compassion, I am nurturing, I am love, I am radiance, I am intuition, I am light, I am expression, I am creation, I am movement, I receive. Thinking of those things is kind of hard now in 2022 because a lot of things that we have learned from our childhood has skewed how we feel about who we innately are. If you were not dealt with in compassion, if you were not nurtured, if you didn't feel loved, if you didn't feel like you were in a radiant home, if you didn't feel like you can express yourself, then a lot of times it was hard for you to push forward in your womanness, especially as a young girl coming up. It was very important what people we saw around us, our favorite auntie, our favorite cousin, our teachers, our fellow peers. These are the people that we saw and that taught us how to be women, showed us what women are. I remember I used to ride the bus to school and I thought it was so cool when I saw a girl on the bus popping gum. And I thought that was so cool. That's all I ever wanted to do was be that girl with the extra juicy lip gloss on with the hoop earrings, popping gum. I thought everybody wanted to be her. And so as I was young, that is something that I wanted to emulate. I thought that it was cool. And definitely, as I grew older, there were different shifts and changes that made me think about the women that I saw in my community or around me on a regular basis as something to aspire to. And even now, it changes. The girl that I aspired to be, popping gum with the extra juicy lip gloss and all the boys liked her, she got me into some stuff. Okay. She got me into some trouble. And so as I grew and evolved and learned lessons of life as women do, I started to see what I wanted to continue and some of the things that I wanted to discontinue. And I am so grateful and so thankful that in my 39 years of living, I have not yet had children. And that's major to say. I never was the girl who sat and thought, oh, I can't wait to get married. I can't wait to have children. I can't wait to see myself pregnant. I was never her. That was never me. I was always career and business oriented. I wanted to advance and move in the world. Now, I always wanted to have me a little boo, but I never really thought about the full structure of a household and seeing myself in it. Why was that the case? Why had I never saw myself in that way? I think that's because the people that I saw in my life were also entrepreneurs. They were also business owners. They also worked for government and other high up companies. So my objective and my thought process, my perspective of what a woman is looked different to me. I did not have a relationship with my grandmother. Neither did my mom. I had a very close relationship with my mother. However, our relationship was a little rocky and it didn't look like compassion. So when you think about these words and what we are supposed to be spiritually, a lot of the definitions and what we see is totally different than the actual definitions that they're intended to be. When you think about compassion, Compassion and nurturing. One would almost think that this is an attribute of something that is soft, that is fluffy. But in turn, compassion and nurturing sometimes can be rough, sometimes can be stern, sometimes can be someone telling you no or doing what they know is best for you at that time because you cannot think for yourself. And as a child, we don't know that. We see our parents as what we see them as, and especially our mother. Even if your mother was not in your life, even if your mother did not necessarily raise you, you have an opinion on what women are based off of who your mother is, who your grandmother is. And so, going back to the point in saying, I have not had any children, it's a blessing because I have the opportunity to be able to foresee my children. I have an opportunity to be able to prepare for my children and prepare my mental space, prepare my living, prepare everything to bring this magnificent being into the world. And a lot of us, especially us 80s babies, our parents did not get that opportunity. A lot of our mother did not have that structure at that time. And if they did, we were extra, extra blessed for them being able to stay on that route. But if we didn't, a lot of us were raised by our grandparents, family members, aunts. And so, right here, right now, I want you to think about the women in your life. Who are the madres in your life, the mothers in your life? They did not necessarily have you for you to represent and respect them and honor them as your mother. I have several mothers in my life. And it's very clear because when you give me game, when you speak to me, we talk to each other and we have a connection, you're my mom. I have a mom that I love and I honor and I adore. However, because I didn't have a big family, God made it to where I was placed with people in my life that can nurture me. Some of those look like my clients. Some of those look like my extended friends. Some of them looks like my ex's mothers. Some of them look like teachers. Some of them look like church members. So think about the women in your life, the people that you have seen in your life, and think about what attributes do you carry from them? What things do you have within you, good or bad, that are created by the woman who raised you? I can go first. Thinking about things business oriented, being very driven, being very direct, being very articulate. Those are some of the things that I got directly from my mother, my birth mother. But when I look and I think about all the women that I have been blessed with, all the madres that I have been able to have, I got some game, y'all. I have over 7 mothers. 7 is the number of completion. So any mothers that I have after 7, it's an abundant overflow. But I can think about each one of them and the things that they taught me in life, things that they gave me that I will go on with life and never forget, things about how to be a woman and how to show up in this world, things about hygiene and how to care for myself. So even if you didn't grow up with your mother in your household or around you, and even if you did, blessings to you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your experience with your mother in your household was always good, but we must give thanks. We must give thanks for her presence. We must give thanks for cohabitating in her body to get here. We must give thanks that she gave birth, whether she was healthy or not when she did it, whether she signed up to continue in parenthood after she had you or she didn't. We must give thanks for our mothers, the ones that birthed us, the ones that didn't birth us, the ones that taught us how to cuss, the ones that taught us how to cook, the ones that taught us about finances, the one that taught us about love and life. And as I said, these different things that are given to you are changed and cultivated over time. But you remember some of these things that were given to you that you will take for the rest of your life. So it's very important as men and women for us to seek compassion, seek forgiveness, not only for ourselves, but the other women that are in our family, in our lives. Forgive and let that shit go. The days are over of you blaming your mother or the other women in your life as to why you are the way you are. Once you reach the age of maturation, that is no one's responsibility and that is no one's bag to hold but your own. As our mothers had to hold their own bag, good, bad, or indifferent, drug addicted, single parenthood, toxic relationships, generational curses, lack of love and compassion, they still had to push through. So I charge you today to do better and balance your femininity within you and exercise these attributes to your fellow women. That is how we heal. That is how we move forward. Another one of the attributes that it had that I really resonate with and see it as something that you must do real work to make sure that you embody these attributes are radiance, intuition, light, and expression. Radiant, intuition, light, and expression. And why these things are hard is because you must do these things inside of yourself. It is not something outside that you can acquire. This is something that you must do inside. And to be radiant and to be light and expressive, you must be healed. You must be clear. Your spiritual baggage must be dealt with. You can't listen to your own intuition. You can't get that guiding from that small, still voice if you have junk and clutter. And if you are not able to be intuitive within yourself, then you are not able to gain radiance and light. You cannot exude that. You cannot express yourself in the way that you need to or that you should if you are blocked. And so many things that we deal with on a regular basis clutter us, clutter our mental space, clutter our spiritual space, clutter up our regular everyday to day. The things that we entertain and we look at block who we are innately here to be. And so our perspective of what a woman is, how a woman should be, what a woman should look like, how a woman should act is cultivated and curated from the media society, internet, television, the things that we take in with our senses. Other than going within, deep within, and knowing who we are and who we're supposed to be. If we allow that space and allow that clearing to happen within us so that we can get the emotional, traumatic baggage and debris out, we are able to listen to that intuition, that still small voice, our higher self that says, you are beautiful, you are loved, you are compassion, you are nurturing, you are my greatest creation. But without that, we are not able to receive those downloads from the divine. So I also charge you to do the work. Look at some of those attributes that you receive from your fellow women, your fellow sisterhood, and look at those things and figure out what are those things that you want to keep and what are some of those things that you want to discard. What are some of those things that are allowing you to be a better you in this space right now and that is still serving you? And what would you like to respectfully let go and move forward from so that you can be a better woman, so that you can be a better mother on a regular basis? And again, you don't have to have children. You can be a mother to your friends. You can be a mother to your nieces and nephews. You can be a mother to your friends' children or just children that you meet in general, people in the store. You can be a mother to whomever. I know me in general, I don't have any children, but I have a mothering personality. So please don't discard yourself when I'm saying mother. And I cancel that out right now today also. We gonna cancel out telling people, well, you don't know or you wouldn't understand because you don't have children. I have common sense. I know what type of mother I would like to be. And I know the sacrifices that I would make to make sure that I am the best mother. And no, everything is not perfect. And no, I don't know everything. But quit telling other women that don't have children they wouldn't understand what you're going through because they don't have children. They wouldn't get it because they haven't birthed a child. I know a lot of people that have actually physically birthed children and should not have. When the mother pool was passing by, they ass should have been passed up. But they're not, and they haven't. And I respect and honor their space and being a mother. So please quit saying that to other people. Okay, so moving on. What's up, my mental health, the New Wealth family? It's your girl, Nikita Nicole, the Illuminist. And have you heard about Anchor by Spotify? It's the easiest way to make a fire podcast with everything you need in one place. Let me explain. On Anchor, you have tools to record and edit your podcast on your phone or computer. The great podcast that you create can be heard on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and more. It's all that you need in one place. So go to your app store and download Anchor, or go to anchor.fm and get started. That's anchor.fm. And let's get this going. I'm ready to hear an amazing podcast. Tell them Nikita Nicole of Mental Health, the New Wealth sent you. And don't be so hard on yourself because you are figuring out how and what kind of woman you want to be on a daily basis. You might not have grown up in a household that someone cooks for you every day, or you might have, but you decided that that is something that you did not want to uphold, something that you did not want to do on a regular basis. You wanted to do other things, and that's okay. Being domesticated does not mean necessarily that you are any less of a woman. As long as you are able to nurture your family in the best way possible that suits your family, you winning. Even if your family is just you, your cats, and your plants. Whatever system that you develop to operate on a regular basis is okay. And if and when you join in a union to where you share that with another, you guys will determine and decide what things work for you guys as a family. And then y'all will operate from there. So don't feel bad if you don't know certain things, if you don't do certain things, if you are not taught to dress and do certain things as you see other women doing. You have the opportunity to learn. You have the opportunity to decide how you want to show up in the world as your own woman. There is so much more to a woman than being domesticated, than rearing children, than taking care of a family, than being the biggest supporter of a male. And I'm not saying that it's anything wrong with these things if you choose to do that. But please don't bash others if that's not the way that they see their lives, if that's not the way that they show up in their lives, especially in this day and age where there are two women together in certain instances. And both of them have to come together and decide what household they will have, just as any other heterosexual relationship, what they want to do in their lives, how they will raise their children, just as anyone else would. So don't let people define what being a woman looks like for you. You step forward and move forward in the ways that feel best to you in this moment. And if next week, next month, next year, it does not resonate with who you are becoming each moment, then change it. And when you make that change too will be okay. You don't have to explain anything to anyone. Do the work and cultivate yourself into the woman, into the mother, into the friend, into the sister that people say, I want to be like this person. This person changed my life. I remember when this person said this to me, or this person helped me in this way, and it changed my life. I believe it was Maya Angelou that said, a person will never remember what you said to them or what you did, but they will always remember the way you made them feel. So it's important to embody that your presence as a woman, as a mother, as a sister, as a friend in other people's lives should enrich their lives. When people think about you, they should feel loved, enjoy, and oh, I better get my shit together because this person will be disappointed if I act anything less or if I am anything less than what the divine created me to be. Do the work to make sure that your heart is light as a feather. I would subscribe for everybody to go and check out Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. Now, whether you understand or believe the principles of Mayat, just know and understand that we all were curated and came from a Black woman. We're not going to go into that. I'm not going to take time for that. That's a whole nother episode. But just know, understand, and believe, because it is fact, that you came from a Black woman. And so the book Sacred Woman helps you to develop rituals and things that you can do on a regular basis to clear out some of that clutter, so that as soon as you step in a room, as soon as you wake up, as soon as people are around you, you are radiant. You shine light and you exemplify what an actual woman, an actual mother is supposed to be. Now, there are definitely several other literatures that you can tap into and read. However, I just particularly like the Sacred Woman book because not only does it teach you about what a woman is, it also teaches you how to amplify your femininity and your divinity, and not only how to take care of yourself, but how to provide for yourself, your family, and your community. Us as women, especially as mothers, we are the first teachers. We are the first nurturers. A lot of times, how your children relate to love or relate to others or operate in relationships is based off of the relationship that they had with you, and vice versa. So it's important to clear that clutter out so that we can radiate and operate out of love and compassion. Last but not least, one of the things that I wanted to speak about so far as the attributes of what a divine feminine is movement and receiving. You should be able to spiritually and physically remove yourself from anything that is not of your highest and greatest good. Simply put, if you are around anything, anyone that does not elevate you to the highest level, then you need to remove yourself from it. If you participate in anything spiritually, emotionally, that does not make you feel the highest that you can feel, and not temporarily, not momentarily, but for long periods of time, causing direct and real change in your life, then you need to discontinue from it. And I know that it may be hard to do because for a lot of us, we are used to toxic situations. We are used to low self esteem because we are not in alignment with who we are divinely and wonderfully in our creation. So we operate out of balance. So we operate in relationships that are codependent, that are barely making it, that are not affirmative, that are not supportive, that are draining. And so when you do that, you are not able to move fluidly and you are not able to receive. Then you are operating out of masculine energy because you are continually always giving, always providing. And sis, I don't know if nobody ever told you, but that's not your job. Your job is not to provide everything for everyone and everybody. That's not your job. So when you understand that that's not your job, right? And your job is to receive, also receive love, receive compassion, receive stability, receive provisions. When you are able to receive, you are able to use your intuition to manifest and multiply the things that you've been given. But if you are operating out of balance and in your masculine energy, then it will be hard for you to receive. And when you do receive, it is hard for you to use that God given, God supported intuition to help you to determine how to run your household, how to maneuver operations in your household and within your life so that you and your family can thrive at its optimal level. So we're going to learn how to move out of situation and things that are not making us feel great. We're going to move out of the situations and things that have made us feel low for quite some time. I'm giving you permission right now on Mental Health, the New Wealth. Oh, and it's a sign because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. So we are moving in the right direction. We are putting one foot in front of the other. We are pushing forward. And I give you permission to remove yourself from anything that no longer serves you. You don't even need to have no excuse. I thank you, but no thank you. This is no longer working for me. That's all you got to say. And you could do it moving. Normalize the feeling of receiving all that the divine has for you. Normalize receiving good things. Normalize receiving reciprocity. When someone gives you something, it's okay to just take it and say thank you. You don't always have to rush in your pocket and be like, oh, how much do I owe you? You don't always have to have in the back of your head that something that is given to you is an ulterior motive. You deserve the best of everything that this divine world has for you. You should walk around with the thought process that I am given to abundantly and I have favor everywhere that I go. People chase me down to bless me with things. And when you grew up a certain way or saw women in your life penny pinch or do certain things or operate in a certain way out of their karmic cycles, I know it's hard for you to break those generational curses, but we're doing that. We have been doing that and we will continue to do that. So I challenge you to move around, not only physically out of the things and mentally and emotionally out of the things that don't serve you, but move your body. Your womb is the greatest thing that you have been given. Exercise. Eat right. Do your kegels now. So in your spiritual sexual activities, you'll snatch somebody's soul from them and let them know, I'm not to be played with. I'm not a snack. I'm a whole garden. I can grow and manifest anything that is given in this ethereal realm and in this 3D. So know and let it be understood that when you are exercising, when you are adorning yourself with oils and fragrance after you get out your shower, understand and know that you are the highest thing that God created. Yeah, I know men like to believe that they're the highest, but without you, without us, there would be no world. There would be no more. Everything would stop. A part of the cycle of birth and death would be broken, and this world would be devastated. So care for your body, love on your body, the people that you allow into and on your body. Make sure that they are cleansed and in their right mind, because as we take them in through our womb physically, we take their different attributes and are linked to their soul pattern and their habits and the things that they do on a regular basis. So it's important to make sure that the people that you let in you, around you, about you, regarding you, are on point mentally, spiritually, and physically. Be open and ready to receive all the greatness that is here for you. And if it doesn't feel great and if it's not right, it's okay to discard it. There is nothing greater than a woman. I love my breasts. I love my hips. I love every inner dwelling, crevice, and crack of my body. Regardless of what social media says it look like, baby, my shit is fire. And if you know me, then you know I can't stand clothes. So I'm always walking around in my divinity because I could do that. And you also can do that. Honor and reverence yourself. There is no better deal out here. And to be a Black woman on top of that, quit playing. I encourage you, I honor you, I charge you to forgive not only the things that you did in your life that you didn't agree with to cultivate that life that you have now, but your mother, your loved ones, your women in your family that you know of that have taught you things or you have seen do things or have relationships with. I charge you to forgive them. I charge you to let them know that you love them and you appreciate them. I charge you to mend relationships. Life is too short. I know your mom maybe didn't do the best thing, or I know the women in your family kept secrets from you, or I know the women in your family did not express to you what it was to be a woman and how to do this thing. But you must fathom at some point, maybe they did not know themselves. And you cannot charge people for not giving you something that they did not have for themselves. So I speak forgiveness. I speak conviction. I speak compassion over all of us. We will operate out of the divine feminine characteristics of compassion, nurturing, love, radiance. We will listen to our intuition. We will be light, expressive, creative. We will move around and we will normalize receiving. I hope this episode, however short, was able to just get you in the space to honor yourself as a woman, get you in the space to honor the women in your life. Because without the divine feminine, we would have nothing. Everyone comes into this space, especially as a girl. Then she grows to be a princess. Then she grows to be a queen. Just because you are a queen based on your age does not mean that you are ruling well. We want to elevate and push forward to goddess status. What the difference between a queen and a goddess is that regardless of a woman's age, once she gets a certain age, you are a queen. And just like queens in the world, you can either rule well or you can rule horribly. There are some kings and queens that have not ruled so well, that did not take the fact away that they were a king or queen to begin with. But when you are a goddess, when you are a god, when you do the work of elevation every day, being a goddess means when you go in the room, you change the atmosphere of the room. The atmosphere of the room does not change you. That means that your eating habits, your lifestyle, and the things that you do on a regular basis are high and elevated. That you operate out of the highest levels and highest frequencies possible. That does not mean that you will not curse someone out. That does not mean that you will not put someone in their place, but in the way that you do it. How you measure that and look at the situation to determine who needs to be reprimanded and who you will just allow to pass on by because they know not what they do. When you are a goddess, people won't do certain things around you. They won't say certain things to you. Even men that don't respect other women will either be intimidated and get away from you or fall at your feet and ask you, what can I do to help you? How can I assist you, goddess? And it's something about your aura, your radiance, your light that innately shines from you on a regular basis that you ain't got to do nothing about because you do your work on an everyday basis that allows them to see that within you. And I charge you also to be goddesses in your own right. I hope this episode was able to boost you, big up, give power and charge to you, because I know in this life, in this society, it is hard being a woman, especially an ethnic woman, a woman of color. So I hope this episode was able to help you to reflect, to think of some moments that you connected with other women in your life. I hope that you are able to talk to the women in your life very soon and let them know how much you love them, how much you appreciate them, and thank them that they have been in your life, good, bad, or indifferent. And if you can't, forgive yourself and forgive them for the trespasses that they had against you, because they didn't know. Even if you didn't or were not able to talk to them, they didn't know. And even if they seemed that they knew, that was their generational pattern. But you are the one to break that. So as we are women every day and we are operating in our glory, pushing forward to be goddesses, always remember your mental health is the new wealth. This episode of Mental Health, the New Wealth podcast was sponsored by Jabez Enterprise Group and Best Publishing. Jabez Enterprise Group is the hub to help you manifest, inspire, and support your business dreams, visions, and goals. Also, as an activist and philanthropist in the small business community, Best Publishing has developed 2 self-help books, Get the Cheese, Avoid the Traps, a guide on government contracting, and Speaking in Colors, a guide on effective communication, diversity, and inclusion. Go on over to JabezEnterpriseGroup.com to be assisted in manifesting, inspiring, and supporting your business dreams and goals, or to purchase Get the Cheese, Avoid the Traps, or Speaking in Colors. That is JABEZ Enterprisegroup.com.